Hi, everyone. We are the Halls Elementary School group, and we will be discussing a school-wide PBIS system using visual schedules and a token economy.
Hi, I'm Haley Trastine. In my current position, I'm a direct support coach with LEL Home Services, and I oversee individuals who are on the waiver and their support staff.
Hi, my name is Kendall Dabnikar. I am a registered behavior technician and also an intern at Cultivate Behavioral Health and Education, and I work with clients from the ages 2 to 21.
Hello, my name is Austin Fontenot. I'm a registered behavior technician. I work at Beyond the Curve Pediatrics in Mamou, Louisiana, and I work with kids ages from 2 to oldest I've worked with is 16.
Hi, everyone. I'm Juliette Gandor. I work at a private school that's an ABA school. I'm an ABA instructor, and I work with students diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and I work with students ages 9 to 12.
Hi, I'm Amanda Whitehead, and I am a teacher in a public middle school. My classroom is the full-time autistic support room, and I have 5 students. So for our school-wide PBIS implementation, we chose the group Halls Elementary School. In Halls Elementary School, there are over 500 students from pre-K through 3rd grade. More than half of these students are more than 2 years behind academically. 75% of the office referrals, which we'll talk about as ODR, are given in the hallway setting. So these students in the hallway, they are displaying problem behaviors. This stems from inconsistent rules between staff. So some teachers have tried to implement rules, but other teachers have not, and the students are just displaying these problem behaviors throughout the school day during transitions. Halls Elementary School does have available support through their administration, instructional assistants, special education teachers, as well as special teachers and grade level leaders. When we implement the PBIS system, it will look different for each type of student. So the tier 1 students will receive no additional support. This will be the students in their regular education environment 100% of their day. The PBIS program will be used to prevent problem behavior from happening, and we just want to maximize these students' instructional time. It will benefit all students, but especially tier 1 students. This is the target group as well as the tier 2 students. So the tier 2 students are the targeted groups of individuals who teachers may have noticed are displaying the problem behaviors more frequently in the hallway. These students may be identified through the MTSS program in the school setting, and these students are going to need extra attention when it comes to the PBIS program. For these students, the tier 2 students, we want to prevent their problem behaviors from worsening. And lastly, it's the tier 3 students. So these students, while the PBIS program will benefit them, it may not be their top level of support. They may be receiving support through their IEPs. So the PBIS system will just be used to reduce the severity of their high-risk behaviors, but they may be getting reinforcement on a different schedule. I'm not going to go too much into this, but this is how it will be implemented in Halls Elementary. So funding will be needed. Our school administration plans to apply for a grant. And if it's a Title I school, they can receive additional funding. The funding that will be needed is for general supplies to supply the school store. And it may be beneficial for teachers within the school to have an Amazon wish list for things needed in the school store, which will be discussed later after the token economy. It'll also be important that there's a committee to man the PBIS program that will be implemented in Halls, and the PBIS committee will be consisting of the available staff to support. And additionally, the school development will include a faculty meeting at the end of the marking period where teachers will make videos to display the students of expected behaviors and how to use the new program in the school. And at the end of the year, it'll be essential for halls to have a feedback collection as well as show the data and see if the ticket system and the token economy and visual schedules have worked. They'll know if it worked if their office disciplinary referrals have decreased. Also, it'll be important if the community participates as well. So the community participation could be student parents at home. They may want to implement something similar to the token economy like in the school setting. Data collection is also essential in the PBIS system. Implementation fidelity is important for the teachers that they implement this program correctly. Additionally, the screening data will be important to identify the tiers of the students. So screening data could be used to identify and target specific students, such as the tier 1 or tier 2 students we really want to focus on with this intervention. Lastly, for data collection, we will be collecting data through ODRs. And again, ODRs stand for Office Disciplinary Referrals. So when students are displaying the problem behaviors in the hallway, such as being late to class, running around, leaving the building, those are very dangerous behaviors and really distract them from the instructional time in the school. So teachers would essentially write them up when they are displaying these problem behaviors through this office disciplinary referral. And this is what a sample referral would look like. So this is what teachers would fill out. So it's essential for teachers to define what type of referral it is. So how dangerous was the behavior? How serious was it? So when teachers do this, and this will also be used to see the fidelity data from the teachers, they have to put their name, the student's name, what grade level the student was. If the student has an IEP, this will help with the tier levels to determine what type of student is receiving this referral, as well as the date of the incident. The time, where it happened, most likely in the hallway, if this is going to be, so this is what it could look like. So this is going to be where it's happening. They want to include specific information, as well as potentially why the student did it, if others were involved, and if other actions were taken. So this will be what is collected and shown in the data collection presentation at the end of the year. And again, the goal is that we just want to see at Halls Elementary that the office disciplinary referrals or ODRs are being decreased through our visual schedules and token economy intervention. Now we'll discuss further into visual schedules at Halls Elementary School.
So visual schedules will be used at Halls Elementary School to aid in the transitions in the hallways. So visual schedules are used as visual guides. They can be made up of pictures or words or a combination of both pictures and words depending on the level of the students who will be using the visual schedules. A visual schedule can help children understand what's happening in the environment at the time, can help explain sequential order of events, and can help determine the start and the end of activities. So creating a visual schedule, there are multiple steps that go into creating a visual schedule. So to start off by creating a visual schedule, the first step would be to identify a target, meaning identify what this visual schedule is going to help explain, what it's going to help children understand. So you would pick a target. Then after a target is selected, that specified activity or routine will then be broken down into simpler steps to allow the main goal to be broken down to simpler steps so students can follow this routine. After the activity is broken down into simpler steps, you'll determine the length of the schedule. This can be 5 steps, 10 steps, depending on which target is selected. After the length of the schedule is determined, an appropriate format for the visual schedule will then be determined, whether the schedule is going to be made up of just pictures, just words, or a combination of both, as stated before, depending on the level of the students who will be using this visual schedule. After an appropriate format is selected, the visual schedule will then be created for the targeted routine or activity. So for implementing a visual schedule after it's created, that is also a series of steps to implement. There is first the introduction, the visual schedule will be introduced, then the placement of the visual schedule, deciding where the visual schedule is going to be located. After determining an appropriate placement, the visual schedules would be reviewed prior to implementing them. After review of the visual schedules, they will then be used as a reference during these specific activities. After the schedules are implemented, once they are in use, then they'll be prompted to or referred to throughout the day or throughout the transition or throughout whichever activity the visual schedule was selected for. And then after completing the full visual schedule, positive reinforcement will be delivered to the students using the schedule upon completion. I'll now be passing it over to Kendall.
Okay, so after the schedule is created and we have a plan to implement, let's talk about what that's going to look like. So in this example for Halls Elementary, we have 4 easy steps mapped out. Walking feet, quiet mouth, hands at side, and keep to the right side of the hall. It is suggested that this visual is going to be placed in the classroom and along the hallways. The goal is to have teachers give a verbal prompt to review the visual schedule before the transition. So before the kids are going from class to class, basically when they're going to be in the hallway. When initially implementing the schedule, the teachers in the classroom will go step by step and explain the schedule and what is expected in the hallway. After 1 week of a depth explanation from the teacher, we will fade the prompts for the visual schedule to just a verbal prompt. So the teacher is just going to say, hey, remember to review the visual schedule for hallway behavior, and then move on to the transition. With the schedule being in the classroom and hallways, the students are able to easily access these materials at all times. The overall goal of this intervention is to decrease the referrals and to increase the appropriate hallway behavior. And this, we have a video attached that just goes more into depth about how to make a visual schedule and how to implement that for various situations.
And I will be talking in general about a token economy, and Austin will later go into detail about how we are going to implement the token economy at Halls Elementary. So a token economy typically emphasizes behavior change by using positive reinforcement. Students can actually see a visualization of progress when using a token economy. It can help them learn self-monitoring skills as well as ways to regulate behavior. And tokens are earned for appropriate behaviors and then exchanged for backup reinforcers. So these are the steps and what it takes to create a token economy. So the first one being that you identify the target behavior you're looking for. So at Halls, they are having disruptive behavior during hallway transitions. Number 2, you can break the school day in different sections of time and give students set times of day to earn tokens. 3, creating an appropriate reward menu for students based on their tiers, their age, their grade. Number 4, you can establish criteria that it takes to earn those tokens. Number 5, make sure you post that established criteria to earn tokens in the classroom that is accessible and all students can have access to. You can choose an item to be used as the token. So examples would be tickets, marbles, pennies, that kind of thing. And right now we are only focusing on giving tokens and not taking away previously earned tokens from students. You want to make sure you establish a tracking system, and you want to allow for individual and classroom tokens. And then the last step is establishing the schedule of when the tokens will be rewarded.
All right, so for Halls Elementary specifically, the token economy will be implemented in order to increase appropriate hallway behaviors. And This would include transitioning to and from different areas of the school while staying in line, staying quiet, keeping hands to themselves, the same thing that we went over during the visual schedule. The token economy will use tickets that look like this with the little turtle on it. Halls Elementary, do your best, and then the name and from. That will contain the mascot and the name of the individual along with who the ticket is from. Tier 1 and Tier 2 students are the main focal point for this. Students will have equal opportunity to earn these tickets. The only difference being is that the Tier 2 students may require a more consistent stream of reinforcement in order to get those behaviors, to keep those behaviors where they're at and potentially get them down. So that may lead the teachers to using these tickets more frequently with Tier 2 students. Tier 3 students may have transitions limited due to the severity of other behaviors, or they might just be more confined in general. So they might not have as many opportunities to earn these tickets. Those students should be and will be receiving different types of reinforcement, more than likely primary reinforcers instead of a conditioned reinforcer like tokens, on a frequent schedule throughout the day. The teachers will also be motivated to give out these tickets because each ticket has the from section that allows the administrators to see who is giving out tickets on a frequent basis. These tickets will also be entered into a raffle where teachers will get selected for multiple prizes. And the more tickets you write, the higher your chances to earn a prize through the raffle. The kids that receive these tickets will get the opportunity to spend them at a store. The store will have various prizes ranging in price. The lower level prizes, probably worth around 1 to 3 tickets, would be pencils, erasers, smaller candies, stickers, stuff like that. Mid-tier prizes worth 4 to 8 tickets would probably be bigger candies, maybe a book, bubbles, fidgets, small stuffed animals. And then your top tier, worth 8 to 15 tickets roughly, would be bigger stuffed animals, chalk their name on the cement, free dress pass, homework passes, and other incentives that the kids would be really motivated for. So to sum it up, the tokens will be the tickets, and they will be given to kids for engaging in appropriate hallway behavior. The children will be constantly reminded children will be constantly reminded of these requirements as well by their teachers, faculty, and the visual schedules that will be posted. The children will then be able to turn the tickets in for prizes at the store, thus reinforcing the appropriate hallway behavior. And upon implementation, the teachers, administration, and faculty will explain, model, and prompt all these kids on appropriate hallway behavior using the visual schedules and using the videos, and like I said, just modeling the behaviors.
This is just a video explaining how to implement a token economy again, but for Halls Elementary School, we want to really focus on this slide with their do your best tickets so they can earn their prizes at their school store. All this is to increase the positive behaviors in the hallway.